Welcome to this explainer for the Tatparya channel. Look, what if I told you that wealth and happiness aren't just baked-in genetic traits or, dumb luck, but actual skills you can learn? Today, we're unpacking the mind of Naval Ravikant, an entrepreneur, philosopher, and investor who has completely proven exactly that. Let's get right into it.
So here is his ultimate premise right off the bat. Making money is not a thing you do, it's a skill you learn. I mean, think about that. This completely upends how most of us were taught to view success, right? Wealth and happiness are not just these rare strokes of luck. They are skills you can literally master.
What's really fascinating about this reframing is how it totally shifts our entire struggle. Naval famously says that if you were to strip away all of his money and drop him on a random street in any English-speaking country, as long as he retains his skills, he'd build it all back in 5 to 10 years. Because wealth isn't just the money sitting in your bank account, wealth is the actual skill set you carry around in your head.
All of this incredible wisdom comes from the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. It was brilliantly compiled by Jorgenson, who essentially took the time to capture a whole decade of Naval's most insightful reflections. We're talking interviews, tweets, podcasts, the whole shebang, woven into a master guide on wealth and happiness. And the purity of this mission is what truly sets it apart. The book was created entirely as a public service, guys. Naval made absolutely zero money from it. He's not trying to sell you some step-by-step gimmick or a pricey masterclass. He's offering a completely free roadmap for you to walk your own unique path.
Section 1. The Philosopher and the Operator. Building credibility.
So who is Naval Ravikant, and why do heavyweights like Tim Ferriss call him for advice? Well, when we compare Naval to your standard high-anxiety tech operator, a pretty stark contrast emerges. Most people who make serious money spend decades practically training themselves to live in high-stress, high-anxiety modes. Naval, on the other hand, operates with this deep inner peace. He relies heavily on first principles and intentionally embraces non-consensus views. He deliberately figured out how to be massively successful while staying deeply relaxed. It's wild.
Tim Ferriss actually notes in the book's Foreword that despite Naval founding AngelList and backing massive, absolute home run hits like Uber and Twitter, his greatest trait is that he simply doesn't take himself too seriously. In Naval's own words, "You're just a monkey with a plan." It's such a refreshing, almost funny perspective in a world that is just full of inflated egos.
Section 2. The Latchkey Kid Pioneer, an origin story. You see, Naval wasn't born into this peaceful Silicon Valley royalty. He engineered his own salvation from some really humble beginnings. Following his trajectory, he was born in Delhi, India in 1974, before moving to a pretty dangerous part of Queens, New York. He was a poor immigrant and a latchkey kid. His family split up, his mom worked tirelessly, and yet, from that intense hardship, he managed to pass the test to get into Stuyvesant High School. Then he becomes an Ivy League graduate at Dartmouth, and eventually launches AngelList. Talk about a spectacular rise. During those really tough early years in New York, the local library became his after-school refuge. He didn't have many friends, so books became his only real companions. And he didn't just casually skim through them either. He aggressively devoured original texts. By absorbing these golden nuggets of wisdom from the best thinkers over the last few thousand years, he essentially built his entire intellectual foundation in a quiet library while his mom was at work. Section 3. First Principles and Reading, the Secret Weapons. So how exactly did he bridge that massive gap from a library in Queens to billionaire status? Simple, by mastering how to think. He relies super heavily on first principles thinking. This means he'd much rather master the absolute basics of a subject, like simple arithmetic, than try to memorize complicated, advanced concepts that he can't actually stitch together. Because look, if you can't derive a complex idea from the very basics, you don't really know it. You're literally just memorizing words. For example, in business, instead of blindly copying a competitor's flashy marketing strategy, you'd use first principles by asking, okay, what is the absolute fundamental need of our customer? And then you build your solution entirely from that core truth. This means that true clear thinkers appeal to their own authority. They intentionally strip away their own identity, their monkey mind judgments, and their immediate desires, all so they can see reality exactly as it is. It's tough, but ask yourself, do you cloud your own decisions with what you want the truth to be? Because if you do, you're going to make terrible judgments. And, as Naval points out, being called a clear thinker is a way better compliment than just being called smart.
He also absolutely loves the Richard Feynman approach to learning.
Feynman famously explained the incredibly complex Saturn V rocket using only the 1,000 most common English words. He playfully called it the Upgoer 5 because, well, the word rocket wasn't even on the list. It's brilliant because when you strip away all the fancy jargon, you instantly reveal whether you actually understand the core concept or not.
To avoid making bad judgments in our wildly complex world, Naval actively loads his head with timeless mental models. We're talking foundational disciplines here: microeconomics 101, game theory, evolution, and complexity theory. He uses these absolute bedrock foundations to navigate ambiguity without falling into hidden traps. It's like having a compass that always points north, no matter where you are.
Because ultimately, without the hard work of reading original texts and rigorously mastering those basics, you just won't develop the clear judgment you need to gain leverage in life. And make no mistake, leverage is the ultimate engine for wealth creation.
Section 4. Next on Tatparya. How to get rich. Which brings us right to the precipice of his true masterclass, applying this crystal clear judgment to the actual art of creating wealth. Now that we understand how he thinks, we can explore what he actually does. So I want to leave you with this really provocative thought. If making money is truly just a learnable skill, are you ready to finally learn how to get rich without relying on luck? Are you ready to apply first principles to your own financial life?
Thank you so much for exploring this incredible origin story with me. I'd love it if you dropped a comment below with your absolute biggest takeaway. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for the Tatparya channel, and I will see you right here in our next explainer, where we are going to decode the exact skill of building wealth.